Shielding. To go through some of those newspaper front pages, our own choice of stories this morning, delighted to say, from the Mindfulness Gym in Claverdon in Warwickshire. Jenny Critchlow joins us this morning. Morning, Jenny.
Morning, Phil. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thank you. Happy New Year. We've not spoken since Christmas, have we?
We haven't. Happy New Year to you, and it will be. I'm sure it'll be a Happy New Year.
Well, some of those front pages give a bit of hope, don't they, about the R rate?
Yeah, absolutely.
Trying to find some...
Yeah, exciting times ahead, I think.
Yeah, trying to find some light, a silver lining to the dark clouds. You've got something here in the Independent you want to start at here about what? Shouting.
Shouting Won't Help. It's such a great article. It's called Shouting Won't Help, What Psychology Can Tell Us About Anti-Maskers. And whatever your view on people who wear masks and people who don't, there's just such a fabulous way of looking at how we get it so wrong as humans about how we think we're going to persuade people to do what we think they should do, whether you think someone should wear a mask or maybe people should be allowed not to wear a mask. And what this article is telling us is what I talk about all the time, is that yelling at people, going to war with people and shouting your own opinion at them never changes anything. People don't respond to that. We can only change people's minds by meeting them where they are and really hearing where they are. And one of the most magical phrases I use with people when we're at polarised points is to not only listen to them, but to leave a space after it and go, yeah, you've got a point. And that softens the whole thing.
Yeah, okay, brings the level down a little bit. And I often find if you just, because you'll find, if you were to start shouting back at somebody. So in the case of this story in the Independent, you challenge someone who's not wearing a mask. Oi, you're not wearing a mask, and then they shout, and their voice gets higher, and then your voice gets higher, and then and it just escalates. And actually, if you just bring your voice down, you go, are you not wearing a mask for a reason? Have you got a medical reason for why you're not wearing a mask? And then challenge maybe that way and soften your voice. Shouting absolutely doesn't help anybody.
It is actually an act of war. War begins in us. And so there's this point at which what humans want secretly is to be heard. To be heard and seen and understood. And then we can all decide where we stand on things if we want to. But polarised views cause war.
Yeah. Only shout when you're asked to, basically. Can't hear you. Shout up, can't hear you. All right. Cocktail next with a little article about, the rules that we stick to, but also ones that maybe we're a little more lax about, and why we are.
Yeah, we are. I think a lot of people are more lax this lockdown. There's definitely more cars on the road, Phil, definitely. But what we're doing, the rule we're mostly breaking, or people are mostly breaking, is meeting up outside. But again, it brings me to a nice moral message, everybody, of how we decide that we are right. Yet again, is that we will decide that we are able to break this small rule here. Right. And then we will stand in great and furious judgment in people who are breaking rules that we think shouldn't be broken. It's a great game called I May Suck at It, But You Suck at It Worse. And it's a way as humour. It's fun. It's true. Honestly, right. Phil, we play it in every bit of our lives, from what we eat to what we do to what we think.
But isn't there something to be said for some degree of self-determination? Isn't there something to be said for you practicing common sense about some of these rules? Yes, okay. There may be people that go, well, look, you know what, I understand there's a rule for this and a rule for that, but actually I'm also being quite sensible about this, because the only people I'm meeting outside are maybe my family members, and we've going to stay within 2 meters of each other, and we're all going to wear a mask, so we're not going to spread amongst each other. So therefore we're being responsible, but we're being outdoors, where we know, of course, the virus doesn't spread as quickly as it would do if we were just to remain indoors. So people are making these decisions, aren't they? But also trying to do them with some common sense.
They absolutely are, but what you've given is a wonderful example of how we convince ourselves that we're all right to do this.
Absolutely.
But somebody else is wrong to do it. It's like we convince ourselves we're right. Our thoughts are almost a form of brainwashing. And we go, no, it's all right for me to do this. But actually, it's the same moral. It's like hot and cold. They're measures of the same thing. So if we're going to break a rule, we break a rule. I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't. I'm saying that what we do is make it okay for us to break this one, but not okay for you to break that one.
So are we actually at heart quite judgmental then about other people?
Oh, yeah.
You think?
Yeah, and we want to be right. The human ego seeks to be right and superior at every minute of every day. And our thought brainwash us into believing that we are right without question. And then we argue it and fight and go to war.
Right. So don't brainwash yourself then.
Don't brainwash
in that
yourself,
case,
yes.
Jenny.
Try hard.
To the Guardian and how, intention for a walk, and you might, looking at the forecast this weekend, Sunday looks really nice, and you think, right, let's get out of this COVID bubble, let's get, bunker mentality, stir crazy, let's go and take a walk in the sunshine. How you can turn that into, well, you say here, a sacred experience, Jenny.
Yeah, well, the Guardian uses the word pilgrimage.
It's just a walk.
This is another thing.
Isn't it?
It's what it is. I don't know. I think you can turn anything into something that brings beauty and kindness into yourself. And it's that one of the things I bang on about a lot is that people like me with no belief system has as much access to the sacredness and beauty of life as someone who believes in something. And what the Guardian is saying is that you can take a walk, and by being incredibly present in that walk, and appreciating everything, even just walking slowly with your feet on the earth and feeling how supported you are by the earth, which actually is floating in space, we can turn that into a sacred experience that is joyful and nourishing within us, regardless of what we believe. So, and connecting to the stillness and beauty outside of ourselves allows us to connect to the beauty and stillness inside of ourselves. And it's that beauty and stillness inside of ourselves that allows us to meet people where they are when we disagree with them, to maybe not shout at somebody. Those peaceful and gorgeous feelings inside dictate how we are on the outside, regardless of what we believe.
Jenny, good stuff, and hopefully we can all take that into the weekend and think about that when we're doing our walks, and obviously walking only with people we should be and nobody else.
Of course,
lest
yes.
we be brainwashing ourselves.
Finger wagging.
Yeah, good. Jenny, love to hear from you. Big love to the family and everybody there in lovely Claverden. I got lots of fond memories and connections with the village. So happy times. Good stuff. Thanks very much.
Beautiful. Thanks, Phil.
From the Peace Gym in Claverden, mindfulness practitioner, her view of the newspaper stories this morning. It's 8 minutes to 8.
Meet the Coventry City legend.
Paul, did you say that you signed your contract on the pitch?
Yeah, 100%. On the Sky